Show your love for Jug, Speed Cola, and Double Tap by picking up the Gone But Never Forgotten tea. A link is down below.
My name is Edward Richthofen, and I have been trying so very hard to do the right thing. Long ago, I made a promise, a vow, to protect him. In order to keep my word, I have done bad things. Very bad things. I do not regret the pains that I have caused, because none of it really matters. This moment, this me. All of it will soon be gone. I have lied. I have cheated. I have deceived. All for a purpose you could never understand. I would not change a single thing. He thinks I do not know, but I do. The blood will protect me.
So what's good with these blood vials? They seem like they're the most important thing in the world, and they are pretty important, but they were thrown into Black Ops 3 with very little explanation. They were just kind of there. And then they all of a sudden became very relevant within Revelations, and there was no explanation. Then come Black Ops 4, and we're given Blood of the Dead, in which the blood is in the focal point. I mean, it's even in the name, Blood of the Dead. So, what's up with the blood? In this video, I thought I would give you a full explanation and history of the blood vials within the Call of Duty Zombies storyline, so you can understand exactly what was going on with the blood in Blood of the Dead. Let's begin. The blood vials were first introduced to us in Black Ops 2, actually. They were first seen on Richthofen during the intro cinematic hanging from his person. This was our first ever look at the blood vials. And there was no explanation of them. They were just there. Upon further inspection, people noticed that on Richthofen's blood vials were the cell numbers of 2 of our prisoners from Alcatraz. And that was just about it. Fast forward 3 years later to Black Ops 3, and Richthofen still has the blood vials on his person, with no explanation. Then we find ourselves in Zet, and after Zet, our characters then travel to Mob of the Dead, Richthofen's laboratory underneath Mob of the Dead. Now this was something that we only heard about in game, we never saw. We didn't see it until the Call of Duty Zombies comic when we got this scene right here showcasing our characters teleporting to Richthofen's lab under Mob of the Dead, receiving the blood vials, and then leaving. Now, how did the blood vials get to Mob of the Dead? To answer that question, we need to go to the Call of Duty Zombies comic. In issue 5, we get an explanation of how the blood vials reach Mob of the Dead. It starts with Victus in the empty earth. They were being chased by zombies, and Richthofen told Stuhlinger to tell the rest of the gang to enter these pods. Then, Zombie Richthofen, who had been chasing after them the entire series, activates the pods, which then start to collect their blood samples. Once the blood samples were prepared, Zombie Richthofen then takes them. Now, Richthofen needs the blood vials. This is Primus Richthofen we're discussing. So what he does first is teleport to the empty earth, where Zombie Richthofen gives him the blood vials. So now, Richthofen has 4 blood vials. Those 4 are from Samuel, Stuhlinger, Russman, and Misty. He takes the blood and then teleports to Alcatraz, a different Alcatraz. While there, he collects 4 more blood vials, 1 from each of the prisoners that we play as in Mob of the Dead. So now Richthofen has all 8 blood vials, and these blood vials are part of what he calls his insurance plan. In order to make sure that he always has a pair of blood vials on, what he does is go back in time to find his younger self. This version of himself is a Richthofen who is yet to experience all the phenomenons involving Element 115. He gives him the blood vials and tells him, "Trust me, Edward, you will need this blood. When the time comes, it will protect you." He then leaves, and now he has 6 blood vials left. 4 of the Victus blood vials, and then 2 of the Mob of the Dead blood vials. And he's going to keep them with him and wait until Primus from the future arrives. Now, this is the Primus that we were just talking about that went to Mob of the Dead, that was previously at Zet, and then will go on their way to Garad Krovi and finally Revelations. Richtofen, this version of Richtofen, already has the blood vials because he received them when he was younger, but the rest of the Primus crew doesn't. So Richtofen then gives the rest of them blood vials, and now the whole gang has blood vials. And this is how they were able to go to Mob of the Dead and receive the blood vials. So now Primus has all the blood vials, and the next step is GK. They go to GK, collect Nikolai's soul, and they're finally ready for Revelations. Now, after Revelations, Monty's perfect world has been purified. It's been cleansed of all the apothecons. At this point, Primus should have disappeared. However, they didn't because they drank the blood vials. This was Richtofen's plan all along. It was his insurance plan. He knew that with this would happen. He knew that the blood would protect them and allow them to live after Monty's perfect world had been cleansed. Now, Monty didn't see this coming. He didn't realize they were going to do this, and he quickly realizes that they still exist because they drank the blood of universes that have already been closed off, and that's how they survived. I'm not going to lie, it's a relatively flimsy excuse. They don't give us a very good explanation other than the fact that they're from dimensions that have already been closed off. Now, Monty says they can't stay here. They're ruining his perfect world. So what does he do? He sends them back in time to the beginning, to the Great War when they were the Primus crew. And this is his solution to them drinking the blood and still existing in his perfect world. This is essentially all we knew about the blood going into Black Ops 4. Everything we saw in the Revelations ending, as well as what we saw in the comic books. In Black Ops 4, our characters find themselves trapped in the cycle, and the blood is essentially one of the causes of the cycle. The only reason Monty keeps sending them back to the beginning is because they keep drinking the blood vials. Now, at one point during their run-through of the cycle, they go to Mob of the Dead and everything's changed. History has changed, and this is reflected in Richtofen's frustration as he throws the book. They are now trapped in Blood of the Dead, and it's actually within Blood of the Dead that we start to get an understanding of how the blood works through a number of Maxis radios.
Richtofen, are you there? Richtofen, most incredible... The blood! It does far more than its dimension of origin. As though the paradox factor wasn't enough. If my observation... The blood itself is the paradox. We know the body is changed at the cellular level, crucial to element 115, resulting in side effects ranging from memory and death. But the moment a body steps through a portal, 115, different reaction. The blood, indeed all tissues, appear to mutate and then stabilize, then exposed to alternate space-time realities. And while delusions and memory are factors, the blood is imbued with etheric energy. Herr Doctor, they searched for since the very beginning. Your blood might not only save you, Edvard, change everything. I only hope to survive long enough to harness it.
So it's in this radio that we finally understand what blood does. So when you teleport around, your blood gains ethereal energy, and that stays in your blood. So then by drinking other people's blood that contains ethereal energy, that ethereal energy then enters your body as well. And Richtofen, for example, he's somebody that's teleported a lot, so he has a lot of ethereal energy in his blood. And Maxis explains that his blood has a lot of potential. He goes into that potential in his next radio.
There we are. There we are. Can't get this almost there. There we are! Who would have thought that erythrocytes would ever be used as a trans-dimensional conduit? Yes, greetings, Herr Doctor. I have managed to use part of your sample to boost the signal of my transmissions. However, I have yet to receive any reply from your end. I pray that I am not too late. New findings have come to light. Yes, the moment one travels through a portal powered by element 115, their blood is changed. The evidence is conclusive. Today, I have discovered that the effect is actually cumulative. The more one travels through the ether, the more they absorb into their bodies. While undeath does not appear to ever be a risk, the potency of one's etheric cells increases. The blood of the prisoners you sampled and that of your now frozen compatriots contained trace but significant amounts. But your blood, Edvard, you have traveled through countless realities of space and time. Your blood is not only beyond potent, I fear it is a profound liability. We both know there are forces who would stop at nothing to attain such power. You must do all you can to keep it from them, Richtofen. Unless, of course, they already have you, and then all is lost.
Richtofen has probably teleported more than anybody in the story, and this means that Richtofen then has some of the most powerful blood in the zombie storyline. Now, this is going to be useful for Richtofen, but Richtofen doesn't want to use his blood. He knows it could potentially be costly for him. This is why at the beginning of Blood of the Dead, he's like, my blood? No, he doesn't want to use his blood. He wants to use other people's blood, such as the Victus blood or the Mob of the Dead blood. And this is something he's going to have to come to terms with in the map. In addition to that, others see the potential in his blood and want to use it as well. The Warden wants to use it in Blood of the Dead. This is why he traps them in those cells initially and develops that device used to extract Richtofen's blood that we see in the ending. Richtofen needs to be wary of that as well, and he also needs to come to terms that his blood is incredibly powerful, and he may need to use it, and Maxis explains how they can use it in the next radio.
Richtofen! I now believe that either you have been killed or you are currently trapped in a pocket dimension. Now, worst case, imprisoned by those who mean to undo existence. In the off chance that you are still on the move, I may have a solution. The power of your blood could theoretically be used to open a portal and escape your present reality. If you can direct and focus enough energy through your blood, you may be able to tear a hole through the ether and step through. How much blood will be required, I do not know. But given the concentration of ether in your veins, it's likely best to not overdo it. And there is more. I recall you mentioned something about needing protection for you and your companions. You are right to worry. The blood vials alone preserve aspects of other dimensions, yes. But if you were to ingest them, combine their ether with your own, that would be a formidable insurance policy.
I'd like to break down this radio in two parts. The first part will be when Maxis discusses Richtofen's formidable insurance plan. This is again exactly what we saw at the end of Revelations and what Dr. Maxis is confirming to Richtofen. By drinking the blood vials, you are drinking blood that has preserved aspects of other realities. And then, when you combine that ethereal energy with your own ethereal energy, you will be able to survive when Monty purifies his perfect world. That is exactly what we saw at the end of Revelations. Now, what about the first part of this radio when he discusses ripping open portals in space and time? Well, this again is exactly what we see during the end of Blood of the Dead. So, the Warden wanted to use Richtofen's blood in an effort to escape his imprisonment within Mob of the Dead. But Richtofen has another plan, and what he does is he jumps into the machine. This machine then sets free the post-Revelations Richtofen, and that Richtofen purifies Alcatraz. After that, he uses the rest of his blood in his body to then go and open up portals in space and time that allow the crew to escape Blood of the Dead. Here's the thing, though. Post-Revelations Richtofen never lets Richtofen out of the machine, so it continues to extract blood from him. That blood then opens and keeps open those portals, and this is what allows them to escape. Richtofen had to sacrifice his life. Richtofen actually knew the entire time that this is exactly what he needed to do and exactly what was going to happen. In a way, he wanted to resist it, and he tried to find ways to resist this by doing things like drinking the blood vials in Revelations. But eventually, the future had changed, and he realized the only way for them to escape was for him to use all of the ethereal energy in his blood to rip open those portals in space and time, and it ultimately killed him. That, though, is everything we need to know about blood within the zombie storyline, and pretty much everything we know right now about blood within the zombie storyline. Originally, it was a way to allow Richtofen and the rest of the Primus crew to survive Revelations, but it also trapped them in the cycle. Then, come Blood of the Dead, it was Richtofen's incredibly powerful blood that allowed them to escape. You'll notice that at the end of Blood of the Dead, they actually break their blood vials. This is in an effort to break the cycle. By breaking the blood vials and preventing them from being able to drink them at the end of Revelations, they have ended the cycle, and this will lead Primus to ultimately help solve the Ether storyline and wrap everything up. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This has been a complete explanation of the blood vials. If you did and found it interesting, maybe go to like, possibly subscribe for more. I'm always covering the zombie storyline. Anyway, I'm going to go. Have a wonderful day, and bye.